Hey Yogi, welcome back to your mat. I'm Kendall, this is Yoga Strong, and today I will guide you through a 40-minute energizing flow. This is a great flow to incorporate into your morning routine because it will energize you, increase your alertness, and get your blood flowing. This flow incorporates elements of twisting, stretching, balancing, and strengthening. So when you're ready, meet me on your mat and we'll get started. Okay, so let's get started in child's pose. Knees out wide to the outside edges of your mat. Big toes to touch behind you. Sink your hips towards your heels and lengthen your arms long in front of you. I like to press into my fingertips and lift my elbows up. Just gives a nice deep stretch through the shoulders. Take a few rounds of breath here. Maybe this is your first stretch of the day. Take an inhale breath as you press up to tabletop position, stacking your shoulders over your wrists and hips over your knees, preparing for cat-cow pose. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chin up. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin in. Take a couple rounds of cat-cow here, really starting to loosen up the spine. Get that blood flowing. Come back to tabletop position. Let's stretch our shoulders. Lift your right arm up, plant your left palm into the mat. Stack your shoulders, open your chest. Exhale as you thread the needle. Bring your right arm through. Try to keep your hips square to the mat. And I like to extend my left arm overhead. You can also take the option of wrapping your arm behind your back for a little bit of a deeper stretch, opening through your shoulder cavity. Press back up to tabletop. Another round of cat-cow. We'll repeat on the other side. Left arm lifts high. Exhale, thread the needle. Take the same variation that you did on the other side. And take a few rounds of breath here. Press back up to tabletop. Find another cat-cow. And when you're ready, we'll press back into downward facing dog. Maybe your first downward dog of the day, so walk your dog, bend and straighten your knees. Take any movement that feels good here. And when you're ready to settle into your downward dog, lift your tailbone up to the sky, sink your heels down towards your mat, and find that inverted V shape with your body. Engage your arms by bringing your biceps forward and your triceps back, and press your shoulders away from your ears. Keep an engaged core here by drawing your belly button towards your spine. And allow your head to hang heavy. Inhale, gaze forward, step to the top of your mat, find ragdoll pose. So you want your feet about hip width distance, Place a gentle bend in your knees because this is less about the hamstring stretch and more about the spinal decompression. So maybe grab for opposite elbows, sway side to side, and keep your weight shifting forward here. Release your hands down to the mat. Plant your left palm and place a bend in your left knee. Your right leg is straight. Lift your right arm up to the sky. Maybe take a wrap. Gaze up and over your right shoulder. Plant your right palm, lift your left arm up to the sky. Take the same variation you did on the other side. Release your hand to the mat. Toe heel your feet together. And slowly roll up to a stand, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae till we reach a standing position. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, Samasthiti, standing at attention. This is a great place to set your intention for practice today. Maybe it's a goal you have in your practice or for your day. Maybe it's just dedicating your practice to someone you love. But whatever it is, take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Release your palms by your sides. Blink your eyes open. Let's have a great yoga class. Inhale, mountain pose. Lift your arms up overhead. Press your shoulders away from your ears. Spiral your pinkies in. Find that strong, solid foundation. Our legs are engaged and active here. Side bend to the right. Step your left leg behind your right. Lift your left arm up and over. Inhale back to center. Side bend to the left. Right foot steps behind your left. Right arm lifts up and over. Back to center, mountain pose. Exhale, back bend with cactus arms. Reach up, reach back. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold with a long spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step your feet to the back of the mat for our first high plank of the day. Puff up your shoulder blades, drop your hips in line with your shoulders and your heels, one long line of energy along the back line of our body. Engage your arms, bring your biceps forward, your triceps back. Take an inhale, shift forward, our first chaturanga. Option to skip it or release your knees to the mat, but if you're ready, bend your elbows to 90 degrees, hug them into your side bodies. Engage your core. Inhale, press up to upward facing dog. Firmly plant your palms, shine your heart forward. Gaze to the right, stretch your neck. Back to center, gaze left. Back to center, exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's move through that flow one more time. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. That is our flow, yogis. Feel free to skip that high to low push-up at any time or release your knees to the mat. Take an inhale breath, lift your right leg high, three-limb dog. And open your hip up in scorpion your dog here. Find that nice stretch through your hips. And keep equal weight pressed through both of your palms here. We don't want to open too much to the side. It's really just our hip opening. Find a few hip circles here. Get that blood flowing through our hips. So important. Come back to 3-limb dog. All 5 toes flex down to the mat. Square your hips off. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose and lightly step your foot between your hands. Release your back knee to the mat. Kneeling crescent lunge. Lift your arms up overhead. And I like to bring my palms down to my knee to sort of press my hips forward. This should feel really good along the hip of your left leg. And we still want to keep our hips square. Your right knee should be stacked over your right ankle. Lift your arms up. Exhale, half split. Straighten and lengthen through your right leg. Check in with your hips. Make sure they're square. And we really want a long spine here rather than rounding down. This is a great place to incorporate your blocks, especially for the first half splits of the day. Blocks really help elevate us. So rather than rounding down, you're keeping a long spine while still getting the same stretch along the back line of your right leg. Maybe release to your blocks. Press back up to kneeling crescent lunge. And find crescent lunge with an open arm twist. Right arm back, left arm forward. And gaze back if that feels okay on your neck. Exalted warrior. Right arm comes to the back of your left thigh. Left arm lifts up and back. Gaze up slightly. Now windmill your arms down. Plant your left palm, lift your right arm, and your left leg lifts off the mat for our low lunge twist. Keep your legs engaged here. For the next posture, you're really going to need to have that engagement of your inner thighs. So think of squeezing your inner thighs together. Your hips are square. Exhale out your breath. Inhale as we lift up into open arm twist. Takes a lot of core engagement, a lot of activation in our legs. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Gaze back gently. Inhale, exalted warrior. Right arm back, left arm lifts. Press your shoulders away from your ears. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Gaze up. Now big movement, a big transition here. Open up to warrior 2. Back heel spins flat to the back of your mat. Your left toes are in a 45-degree angle. Stack your right knee over your right ankle. Reach your arms confidently in opposite directions. Engage your core by drawing your navel towards your spine. Your tailbone is drawing down towards your left heel. Inhale, flip your palms, hinge your torso forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Tick-tock your arms to 6 and 12. Re-engage that bend in your right knee. And leverage the connection between your forearm and your inner thigh to spiral your chest open. Concentrate on lifting up rather than reaching down towards the mat. We really want to engage our obliques here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep that bend in your right knee. Lift your arms up and back. Press your right shoulder away from your ear. Keep your core engaged here. Exhale, warrior two. Windmill your arms down to your mat. Find your flow. High to low plank. Up dog. And down dog. Awesome job, you guys. That is not an easy flow. Let's repeat that on the left side. Lift your left leg high. Find your scorpion dog. Draw your left heel towards your glute. Press evenly through both of your palms. And take a few of those hip circles. So good for us. Mobility through the hips. Get the blood flowing. Find your three-limb dog, all 5 toes flexing down to the mat. Square your hips. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Lightly step your foot between your hands. Release your back knee to the mat. Stack your left knee over your ankle. Kneeling crescent lunge. Lift your arms up overhead. And maybe you bring your palms down to your left knee and find a little bit of movement through your hips here. Lift your arms up. Exhale, half splits. Again, great place to incorporate our blocks. If you did so on the other side at any level, just keeps our spine long rather than rounding down. And if you want an even deeper stretch along the back line of your left leg, flex your toes towards your face. That'll do it. Come back to kneeling crescent lunge. Exhale as we find our twist. Left arm back, right arm forward, gaze back. Inhale, exalted. Left arm rests gently on your back thigh. Right arm lifts up, gaze up slightly. Keep your core engaged here to protect your spine. Low lunge twist. Lift your right knee off the mat. Press into your right palm. Lift your left arm up high. Stacking our shoulders. And still keeping and being mindful of our hips, that they're squared down to the mat. You're really pressing firmly into the ball mounds of your back foot here. And begin to squeeze your inner thighs together because we have that big transition coming. So prepare, engage your core. Take an inhale breath as you lift up to your open arm twist. That is not an easy transition. Engage through your back leg by pressing into the ball mound of your back foot. Keep your inner thighs engaged. Exalted warrior. Left arm rests gently on your right thigh. Right arm lifts up and back. Press your right shoulder down and away from your ear. And keep your core engaged again to protect our spine. Big movement here. Inhale, open up to warrior two. Spin your back heel down to your mat. Stack your left knee over your left ankle. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Hold and breathe. Draw your tailbone down towards your heel. Engage your legs by spiraling your inner thigh of your right leg down. And draw your belly button towards your spine. Inhale, flip your palms, hinge your torso forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Use your obliques to lift your torso up rather than sinking down. And leverage that forearm to knee connection to spiral your torso up and open. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm comes back, left arm lifts up. Recommit to that lunge in your front leg. Focus on the side body stretch rather than the back bend. Exhale, warrior two, just for transition. And chaturanga dandasana, your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job, you guys. Again, not an easy flow. Take a few rounds of breath here in your downward dog. Maybe pedal your feet, take a few knee bends. Shake your head, yes, no. So we'll flow through each side with a few modifications. So listen closely. Inhale, lift your right leg high, scorpion your dog. Find your wild thing. Right arm reaches up and back. Gaze up. Exhale, plant your palms, bring your knee to your nose. Lightly step through. Inhale, low lunge twist. Find that core engagement and inner thigh activation. Lift up. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Exhale, exalted warrior. Big transition, open to warrior two. Extended side angle. This time, option to lift your arms. Really using total core activation, oblique strength. Inhale, reverse triangle. Nice release. Straighten and lengthen through your right leg. Engage your core. Find that length through your side bodies rather than the back bend. Gaze up. Exhale, warrior two for transition. Chaturanga dandasana, your variation. Now we'll flow through that on the left side. Inhale, left leg lift, scorpion your dog. Gently find your wild thing. Oops, sorry, plant. Plant your left palm, draw your knee to your nose. Lightly step it through. Low lunge twist. Engage your inner thighs. Lift up to our open arm twist here. Core engagement, arms reaching in opposite directions. Exhale, exalted. Big transition, open up to warrior two. Extended side angle. Again, option to reach your arms, reach and lift. Engage your obliques. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Nice release here. Stretching through our side bodies, engaging and activating our legs. Exhale, back to warrior two for transition. Windmill your arms down. Chaturanga dandasana, your variation. Great job, you guys. Not an easy flow. And definitely one that you can either level up or modify. All right, moving into some balancing and strengthening. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your knees a lot. Sit your hips back and low. Engage your core. Gaze down and make sure you can see all 10 toes in front of your knees. Exhale, chair plank. Swing your arms back and up. Draw your palms in towards one another. Finding total arm activation and engaging our shoulders. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, prayer twist. Bring your palms to heart center. Hinge your torso forward. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Leverage that elbow to knee connection to peel your chest open. Root down through your right leg. Very tricky transition here. Lift your left heel towards your glute. Extend your leg back. Find revolved crescent. That's not easy. Engage through your back leg. Press into the ball mound of your back foot. With every inhale, find length in your spine. With every exhale, deepen your twist. One more inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Such a nice release. Plant your palms to the inside of your right foot. Release your back knee to the mat. And option here to lower down to your elbows to really intensify the stretch. I like to open my knee and shift to the outside edge of my right foot. Most important thing about this posture is that your foot is in front of your knee. You don't want your knee in front of your foot. So just being really mindful, as always, of protecting our joints. Take a few rounds of breath here, surf it out. Maybe you want to find that nice quad stretch by kicking your left heel towards your glute. Finding a little twist here. Wherever you are, take a few rounds of breath. Maybe you lift your back knee, shift forward, shift back. Plant your palms, press into your back foot. Bring your right foot to meet your left, high plank pose, Dandasana. Find your Chaturanga Dandasana. All right, not an easy series. You guys are doing great. Keep breathing, stay present. Getting so strong here. Inhale, gaze forward, exhale, step or float to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose once again. Exhale, chair plane. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, prayer twist. Palms to heart center, hinge forward. Hook your right elbow outside of your left knee this time. Gaze down, make sure your knees are in line with one another and that you can see all 10 toes. With every inhale, find length through your spine. With every exhale, deepen your twist. Moving into that really tricky, challenging transition here. Root down through your left foot. Lift your right heel towards your glute. Send your foot back. Find revolved crescent lunge. Not easy. Again, with every inhale, finding length through our spine. Every exhale, twisting us a little deeper in the posture. One more inhale here. Exhale, runner's lunge is our release. Toe heel your foot to the outside edge of your mat. Release your back knee. Your palms are on the inside of your left foot. And like I said, on the other side, I like to open my knee here and come to the outside edge of my left foot. So as you can see, I'm really opening up through my hip and getting that nice stretch through my hip flexor and my quad. So try and replicate what you did on the other side. Maybe come down to your elbows. Maybe you kick your right heel into your glute. Find that juicy quadricep stretch and gentle twist. Plant your palms. Press into your back foot, lift your knee. Exhale, high plank pose. Left foot meets your right. Find your flow. Moving into our last little bit of effort here, our balancing and stretching series before we wind down. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, engage your core, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge, stack your right knee over your right ankle. Square your hips, engage your core, draw your tailbone down. Exhale, warrior three with airplane arms. Launch off your right leg with control. Lift your left leg up, square your hips down to the mat. Bring your arms behind you and draw your palms towards one another to engage your shoulders and activate your triceps. Slowly and with control, inhale, one leg Tadasana. Lift your left knee up in line with your hip. Your left knee should be in a 90-degree angle. Square your hips forward and level your hips. Moving into Eagle Pose, Garudasana. Bend your right knee, wrap your left leg over your right. Wrap your left arm under your right. Option to find that double wrap with your legs, or use your left foot as a kickstand, no problem. Also is an option to find your bear hug here if you're challenged with the wrap. Draw your elbows and your knees towards the midline of your body. Sit your hips back and low and shift your weight into your heel. Lift your arms up on the inhale. Exhale, compress. Inhale, unwind, one leg Tadasana. Exhale, figure four. Bring your left foot on your right knee or thigh. Sit your hips back and low. And find that really nice stretch through the outside of your left hip. Shift your weight back into your right heel and sit your hips back and low. Inhale, one leg Tadasana once more. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms, moving slowly and controlled like we're moving through honey. Inhale, warrior two, windmill your arms open. Straighten your right leg. Shift forward. Exhale, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Feels really good. Nice release after all of that challenging balancing on our right leg. Reach in opposite directions. Use your oblique strength here to lift your torso up. Also a great place to use your block. I don't think I have one handy, but you can always put your block and bring the mat a little bit closer to you. Inhale, back up to warrior two, just for transition. Straighten both of your legs. Bring your arms out to a T, flip your palms, lift your chest up. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. Float down with a long spine. Stack your hips over your heels. Likely you'll need to shift your weight forward into the ball mounds of your feet. Tendency is to have our weight into our heels, which is where we don't want it to protect our joints. We want to be shifted forward. Place a gentle bend in your knees and lift your tailbone up towards the sky. And grab for wherever is accessible to you. You can grab your heels and pull yourself inward. You can grab for your calves. Or you can just rest your palms on the mat in front of you. Allow your head and neck to hang heavy here. And take a few rounds of breath in this wide leg forward fold. Bring your arms out to a T, engage your core and slowly rise. Exhale, warrior two, just for transition. Windmill your arms down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, one more side to go. Inhale, lift your left leg high, three-limb dog. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Stack your left knee over your left ankle. Square your hips, draw your tailbone down. Engage your core. Preparing for that big transition. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, warrior three. Launch off. Your left leg is your foundation. Your right leg lifts up and back. Square your hips down to the mat. Root down through your standing leg. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, slow and with control. Bring your right knee in line with your right hip. Square and level your hips. Moving into Eagle Pose, Garudasana. Your right leg wraps up and over your left, your right arm under your left. Option to find that double bind or use your right foot as a kickstand. Bring your knees and your elbows to the midline of your body. Shift your weight back. Sit your hips down low. Lift your elbows up on your inhale. Exhale, find that nice compression. Inhale, slowly unwind. One leg Tadasana. Exhale, figure four pose. Palms to heart center. Right foot crosses over left knee. Find that nice stretch along the outside of your right hip. Shift your weight back. Sit your hips low. Inhale, one leg Tadasana. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Moving slow like we're working our way through molasses. Inhale, warrior two, open up. Lengthen and straighten your left leg. Hinge your torso forward. Exhale, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Reach your arms in opposite directions. Use your oblique strength to lift your torso up. Root down through your back heel. Slowly return to warrior two. Straighten your legs and pivot your toes forward. This time we're going to find a chest expansion grip. So interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your chest up and draw your hands down towards the floor. Exhale, wide leg forward fold with chest expansion grip. I like to bend one knee, bend the other. Reminding myself to shift my weight forward, lift my tailbone up, and then sink and fold in. Inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, warrior two. And windmill your arms down to the mat. Find your chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, yogis, we've done a lot of work in this energizing flow. Time to wind it down with some stretching and spine strengthening. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, half pigeon. Draw your right knee to your right wrist and your right ankle to your left wrist. You ideally want your right leg to be in sort of the number 7 formation. But what's even more important is that your hips are square here. Tendency in half pigeon is to put all of your weight into your right hip. So we want to remain really lifted. And this is another great place to incorporate your blocks to help you lift your chest up and stay square. And always a good idea to gaze over your bent knee to make sure that your back leg is straight and long behind you. And for this energizing flow, we're going to remain lifted in our half pigeon, but personal preference if you want to lower down and take more of a restorative half pigeon. Also, always an option to draw our left heel towards our glute to find that juicy quad stretch. Take a few rounds of breath here. Plant your palms, press up into a high plank, find downward facing dog. Let's repeat that on the left side. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, half pigeon, left knee to left wrist, left foot to your right wrist. Square your hips. Press up here to square and level your hips forward, and then slowly lower. Gaze over your bent knee to ensure your back leg is straight and long behind you. Option to use your blocks on this side if you did so on the other side to help you stay lifted and square. Take a few rounds of breath. Maybe take your hamstring stretch or your quadricep stretch rather. When you're ready, plant your palms, step your left foot back to meet your right, and let's move into a little bit of spine strengthening here. Inhale, shift forward, slowly lower yourself down all the way to your mat. Preparing for cobra pose. So zip your legs together behind you like a mermaid tail. Plant your palms underneath the heads of your shoulders. Exhale out all of your air. Inhale, cobra pose, bhujangasana. Peel your chest off the mat, little to no weight in your palms. Gaze forward and slightly down to protect your neck. Slowly lower down to the mat. Bring your left cheek to the mat, gaze right, arms rest long by your sides. Bring your chin back to center, preparing for full locust pose. Separate your feet about hip width distance, arms come to your sides. Exhale out all of your air. Inhale, full locust pose. Lift your arms and your legs off the mat. Long through our spine, our core is engaged. Option to find your chest expansion grip behind your back. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly release, gently and mindfully. Right cheek to the mat, gaze left. Press up to all fours, tabletop position. We're going to take a fixed firm here. This is actually one of my favorite postures in yoga. I didn't like it for a long time because it kind of bothered my knees. But over time, I've come to love this posture, and in fact, it's great for knee health. So what you want to do is separate and open your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Bring your knees together and sit your hips between your heels. The important part about this posture is that you're compressing and squeezing your knees and your thighs together the whole time. We don't want to have separation between our legs here. Always an option to use your block and take a seat on your block if you don't meet the mat, no problem. And if you are able to sit between your heels with your knees together, option to release to your elbows. And always an option to lower completely down to your mat and grab for opposite elbows overhead. Take a few rounds of breath here in your fixed firm, really spiraling your inner thighs down, engaging your core. And slowly release without twisting. Plant your palms and just step your feet back one at a time to release that tourniquet effect and get the blood flowing. Maybe stamp out your feet a little bit. Let's take a camel pose, Ustrasana. Come to standing on your knees. Knees are about hip-width distance. Bring your hands to your lower back, all 10 fingers pointing down like they're going into jeans pockets. Press your hips forward. Begin to lift your chest up and back. And if you're able to reach for your heels, make sure you can continue to press your hips forward. You want your hips stacking over your knees. And gaze back for full expression of the posture. Slowly rise. And have a seat. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Now let's counter our camel pose with a forward fold. Sit your hips to one side. Extend your legs long in front of you. Lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Round down, really countering that back bend we just took with our camel pose. Draw your chin towards your chest. Grab for wherever is accessible here. Slowly rise. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees open wide. Let's take a butterfly pose here. Round down. And breathe. Option to extend your arms long in front of you. Slowly rise. Scoot your hips forward and come to lying on your backs where we'll be for the rest of class. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Find your happy baby pose. Grab for the inside arches of your feet. Press your hips down to your mat. Option to rock from side to side. Bring your knees into your chest once more. Give yourself a squeeze to neutralize your spine. And keep hold of your right knee as you extend your left leg long to the floor. Now hug your right knee up and around your rib cage to create this compression in your right hip crease. Take an inhale. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your knee across your body. Extend your right arm long. Stack your hips on top of one another. And gaze right. Take a few rounds of breath in your twist. Inhale back to center. Give yourself a squeeze to neutralize your spine. Exhale, right leg long. Squeeze your left knee up and around your rib cage to find that compression at your hip crease. Take an inhale. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your knee across your body. Extend your left leg long. Stack your hips. And work to keep both of your shoulders pressed into the mat. Bring your knees back into center. Give yourself a squeeze and a giant hug. Curl up into a tiny little ball. Take an inhale. Exhale, release to final Shavasana. Extend your arms and legs long. Take up space here. You made it, you deserve it. That was hard work. Take a few rounds of breath in your Shavasana. And when you're ready to move on with your day, hug your knees into your chest. Slowly make your way up to a seat. Easy seated position, Sukhasana. Yogis, my name is Kendall. This is Yoga Strong. That was your energizing flow, full of twisting, balancing, strengthening, and stretching. I challenge you to incorporate this flow into your weekly routine, ideally in the morning, because it will really set you up for a productive day. Get your blood flowing, revitalize you, energize you, focus you, and it's just an all-around great workout. So thanks again for visiting my channel. I'm Kendall. I can't wait to flow with you here next time. Namaste.